Sup, you beautiful bastards? Hope you're having a fantastic Thursday. Welcome back to the Philip DeFranco Show, and let's just jump into it. And the first thing I want to talk about today is Greg Gianforte. Right now in Montana, there's a special election happening to fill an open House seat. And Greg is the Republican candidate. He has been the decisive leader in the polls. Everything I've seen has shown him either 8 to 15% in the lead. But then a bit of craziness happened yesterday. A reporter from The Guardian by the name of Ben Jacobs tweeted, "Greg Gianforte just body slammed me and broke my glasses." Which, I'll be honest, when I first heard that, I said, oh, really? A congressman body slammed you? And then Ben tweeted out the audio of the incident happening. Let's take a listen.
You know, you were waiting to make your decision about healthcare until you saw the bill and it just came out. And what you thought
we'll talk to you about that later.
Yeah, but there's not going to be time. I'm just curious if you have the
speak
right
with
now.
Shane, please.
But you don't.
I'm sick and tired of you guys. The last time that came in here, you did the same thing. Get the hell out of here. Get the hell out of here. The last guy did the same thing. You were the Guardian?
Yes, and you just broke my glasses.
The last guy did the same damn thing.
You just body slammed me and broke my glasses.
Get the hell out of here.
If you'd like me to get the hell out of here, I'd also like to call the police.
Did he just put him through a table? Now, in response to this claim, the Gianforte campaign made a statement saying, "Tonight, as Greg was giving a statement in a private office, the Guardian's Ben Jacobs entered the office without permission, aggressively shoved a recorder in Greg's face, and began asking badgering questions. Jacobs was asked to leave. After asking Jacobs to lower the recorder, Jacobs declined. Greg then attempted to grab the phone that was pushed in his face. Jacobs grabbed Greg's wrists and spun away from Greg, pushing them both to the ground. It's unfortunate that this aggressive behavior from a liberal journalist created this scene at our campaign volunteer barbecue." Now, hearing that statement, you might notice there seems to be a conflict with what we heard. Aggressive behavior, badgering comments. The reporter seems pretty calm. As far as him asking Jacobs to lower the recorder, that's never heard. He says, "Speak to Shane," but then immediately we hear a scuffle. The rest, we don't know. It could be true. Now, as far as the campaign saying this is aggressive behavior from a liberal journalist, well, one of the first people to jump to Ben Jacobs' defense was actually a Fox News crew. They were in the building. They were in the same room. They had a scheduled interview with Gianforte. And this is how the Fox News crew described what happened, saying, "Gianforte came into the room. We exchanged pleasantries and made small talk about restaurants and Bozeman. During that conversation, another man who we now know as Ben Jacobs of The Guardian walked into the room with a voice recorder, put it up to Gianforte's face, and began asking if he had a response to the newly released Congressional Budget Office report on the American Health Care Act. Gianforte told him he would get to him later. Jacobs persisted with his question. Gianforte told him to talk to his press guy, Shane Scanlon." Okay, so pretty much everything up to this point matches the statement from Greg's camp. The only difference being that they say Jacobs put a recorder in his face, but not aggressively. The Fox News team continues. "At that point, Gianforte grabbed Jacobs by the neck with both hands and slammed him into the ground behind him. Faith, Keith, and I watched in disbelief as Gianforte then began punching the reporter. As Gianforte moved on top of Jacobs, he began yelling something to the effect of, 'I'm sick and tired of this.' To be clear, at no point did any of us who witnessed this assault see Jacobs show any form of physical aggression towards Gianforte." So that's actually way worse than what I thought happened. Now, while originally we only had that audio recording as evidence, thanks to this new information and state-of-the-art technology, we've been able to recreate a simulation of what happened in that room.
Speak with Shane, please.
Sick and tired of you guys. The last time that came in here, you did the same thing.
Also, several papers that had endorsed Gianforte have now thrown him under the bus. One of the papers writing, "The Republican candidate for Congress not only lost the endorsement of this newspaper Wednesday night when, according to witnesses, he put his hands around the throat of a reporter asking him about his healthcare stance, threw him to the ground and punched him. He should lose the confidence of all Montanans." But here's the thing, misdemeanor assault aside, he still might win. He had a huge lead in the polls. A lot of the people that have voted already voted early, and the election's today. He could still win, which then raises the question, what the hell happens when the winner of the election is also facing assault charges? This is insane, but also a little bit fantastic to watch. I'm going to be glued to the results tonight to see what happens. Then let's talk about what random thing the internet is angry about today. And right at the top of that list is the Alamo Drafthouse. The Alamo Drafthouse is a movie theater, and they announced a women's-only screening of Wonder Woman. Writing on their website, "Apologies, gentlemen, but we're embracing our girl and saying no guys allowed for one special night at the Alamo Ritz. And when we say women and people who identify as women only, we mean it. Everyone working at the screening, venue staff, projectionist, and culinary team will be female. So lasso your geeky girlfriends together and grab your tickets to this celebration of one of the most enduring and inspiring characters ever created." And there are people that were angry saying that this is actually sexist. People like Paul Goodwin who wrote, "You don't think this is wrong? Well, I do. That means you are now a sexist business and I will never set foot in your theater again. I will actively campaign against Alamo. I never thought I would actively campaign against local Austin business, but you've gone too far. Imagine the shitstorm if there was a male-only showing of anything, or a private showing for a specific race or sexual orientation. promotion. Nah, it's SJW approved. And to summarize most of the anger, it was a lot of, why are you excluding people when the intent is to celebrate? And the argument I've seen from the other side is you're just experiencing for one showing the subjugation and exclusion that women sometimes experience. Now, I personally don't care that they're doing this women's only screening. It doesn't affect me. Now, granted, I'm not surprised that people had this reaction, and I kind of understand where they're coming from, but I'm not bothered by it. It's select screenings, not all screenings, just a few places for yay, girl power. I also looked into it a little bit further and found out they're going to be donating all the proceeds to local women's charities. So to me, it's akin to a ladies' luncheon for charity. If anything, I think the big fallout from this situation is going to be guys getting a hold of tickets, then saying they identify as women and going in as kind of like a fuck you to them. But that would still involve the Alamo Drafthouse getting money, so it seems like it's a win-win for them. I don't know. That's also just my opinion. What are your thoughts? Do you think it's a slippery slope? It's wrong, or no, you just don't care either? But from there, I want to share some stuff I love today, and Today in Awesome brought to you by DeFrancoElite.com. DeFranco Elite is one of the best ways to support what we're doing here and what we're building. YouTube's made it clear that my kind of content isn't really what they're looking for. I mean, hell, in the past 6 videos I've put out, 3 were demonetized. But thanks to beautiful bastards like yourself supporting at DeFrancoElite.com, either at the lower tiers where you get coupon codes, you get to see stuff early, or at the higher tiers where you get things like exclusive posters, you guys are enabling me to do what I'm doing. Thanks to you, I don't have to conform to whatever YouTube says is okay, and I can just make the videos. And the first bit of awesome is we got a brand new trailer for Atomic Blonde. You're getting Charlize Theron, James McAvoy badassery. Then we got a trailer for a new Jason Bateman series, and it looks a bit like an anxiety attack. I know Jason Bateman's known by a lot of people because he's a comedy guy. He's pretty damn great in non-comedic roles. He was great in The Gift, and I'm excited to see how this turns out. Then we had Coyote Peterson try to get thousands of bees on his face, and I'm sorry I'm laughing. They started stinging him a lot. Like Kylie Jenner's looking at those lips going, that's a bit much. Also, for those of you that don't want to just be excited for something awesome in the future, you want some awesome now. If you have Netflix, you like comedy, I highly recommend Hasan Minhaj's new comedy special. He's just fantastic. And if you want to see the full versions of everything I just shared, the secret link of the day, anything at all, links as always are in the description down below. Then really quick, one of the most requested kind of non-stories. People were asking me to comment on this tweet from Dave Cullen, who tweeted, the word love on this person's t-shirt is spelled out in weapons, which some were like, confirmed terrorist. But then others pointed out it was actually a design that I had on my show for years. It's a design by an artist by the name of Steez. It has been out for years and years. It doesn't mean anything, although that's probably not the best choice of shirt to wear after the Manchester bombing. But the thing is, it's art, and it depends on your interpretation of art. My interpretation of the love poster with weapons was always, we're taking things that normally would kill people and we're repurposing it for love. For me, that design meant something akin to guns don't kill people, people kill people. Like if you ever seen art of some sort of gun or rifle or something like that with a flower in it, it shows that that weapon is something that can take another life, or you can use it as a flower holder. An extravagant and impractical vase. We can choose what to do with the things in front of us, and with this design, we choose to spell love rather than hurt another. But I get why some people would be like gasp when something like that potentially needs that much explanation. And then let's talk about an update around the Fox News host Sean Hannity. Yesterday I did a massive piece on the he said, she said of the Seth Rich situation, and that story involved Hannity. FoxNews.com had removed their stories around Seth Rich because they found out the information was maybe not legitimate. Then Sean Hannity on his show said for now he's not going to talk about the case out of respect for the family. Then at the end saying he's still going to do his job. He is going to keep looking further into this. And he started talking about groups like Media Matters trying to get companies to boycott him, get advertisers to pull out, that this was an attack. And we've seen what happens when advertisers massively pull out with Bill O'Reilly. Obviously, outside of advertisers pulling out, this situation is different. Well, the update is things are not looking great for Sean, but there's nothing definitive. As of recording this video, 7 advertisers have pulled out thus far. They include Peloton, the exercise bike company, Lisa Sleep, mattress retailer Casper, the insurance company USAA, home security equipment maker Ring, Crown Plaza Hotels, and Cars.com. Then adding fuel to the fire that Sean Hannity might be getting fired, he has now gone on vacation. Last night, Kimberly Guilfoyle announced that she was going to be filling in for Hannity. But before any Hannity haters start cheering, popping some bottles, just because this looks very similar to the way Bill O'Reilly eventually was pushed out of Fox News doesn't mean this is the same thing, according to a Fox News spokesperson who said, like the rest of the country, Sean Hannity is taking a vacation for Memorial Day weekend and will be back on Tuesday. Those who suggest otherwise are going to look foolish. And so hearing that, but then taking in the whole situation, I'm not really sure what's going to happen. If you compare the Bill O'Reilly and Sean Hannity situations, there's big differences. With Bill O'Reilly, there are several allegations of sexual harassment. Those allegations poison the well far more than Hannity's situation. Also, while the number of advertisers dropping out has increased, it's nowhere near Bill O'Reilly levels. The O'Reilly factor went from having 34 advertisers the day before that news broke on April 1st to just 10 on his final show. And even the quality of those 10 dropped. The sponsors went from Mercedes-Benz, TD Ameritrade to Wagner Brakes. And so that's why I'm not fully sold on the idea that Hannity is 100% being kicked out. I could be wrong because there are certain things you don't know which way it's gonna fall, but we'll ultimately have to just wait and see. And the last thing I want to talk about today is an update on the Manchester attack. 21 of the 22 people killed have now been named. In total, 8 men are in custody believed to have connections with this bombing. One woman was also arrested, but she has since been released. Greater Manchester Police saying the arrests have been significant, while searches of premises have also yielded items important to the investigation. It was also reported that 2 people that knew the suspected bomber actually called a hotline to warn police about his extremist views. And the UK threat level was raised and is currently critical. One of the biggest stories being talked about right now is secrecy and leaks. And the reason for that is that the police investigating the Manchester attack are no longer sharing information with the United States because there have been leaks. Hours after the attack, the bomber's name was leaked to US press, and then on top of that, photos of the debris that should not have been publicly available. They appeared in the New York Times. Louis Lukens, the acting US ambassador to the UK, condemned these leaks, saying that these leaks were reprehensible and deeply distressing. We have had communications at the highest level of our government. We are determined to identify these leaks and to stop them. And seemingly in response to this, the Prime Minister of the UK, Theresa May, said this:
I will make clear to President Trump that intelligence that is shared between our law enforcement agencies must remain secure.
And some people heard that as just a statement of what they were going to do, and some people saw that as kind of a warning. Words that might be telling of a strain on the relationship between the United States and the UK. And in response to all of the outrage around their Wednesday article showing this evidence, the New York Times released a statement saying, the images and information presented were neither graphic nor disrespectful of victims, and consistent with the common line of reporting on weapons used in horrific crimes. Our coverage of Monday's horrific attack has been both comprehensive and responsible. And so with this story, I want to pass the question on to you. What is your opinion on the leaks? Do you think all of them are bad? No, the more information the public has, the better? Or is it more of a some but not all situation, where maybe you're angry about the name of the bomber being leaked way too early, but maybe not the photos of the evidence of the bomb? I'd love to know your thoughts here. And that's actually where I'm going to end today's show. And remember, if you liked this video, you like what I do on this channel, hit that like button. If you're new here, hit that subscribe button. Make sure you don't miss these daily videos, which actually, if you did miss yesterday's Philip DeFranco show, you can click or tap right there to watch that. Or if you want to go see the newest behind the scenes vlog, click or tap right there to watch that. But that said, of course, as always, my name's Philip DeFranco. You've just been filled in. I love yo faces, and I'll see you tomorrow.